यहाँ पे
आता ही नावं सुद्धा माझ्याकडे नाही आहेत कोणाकोणाची. गेस्ट ऑफ ऑनर वगैरे कुठे दिले तिथं आता लिहिलेलं वाचून घेऊन काढलं सर.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, we'll be starting in at 2:30 sharp. Sir, am I audible to you, Manik, sir?
I am audible?
Yes, sir, you are also audible.
Good afternoon, sir. Dr. Bendale here. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Dr. Rajakshmi Bagh.
Yeah, please.
Good afternoon, sir.
So we'll be starting at 2:30 sharp. Professor Rar and Professor Bakshi will be joining in a minute.
तुम्ही काय करू नका. तुम्ही तुमचं काय आहे की तुम्ही दुसऱ्या गोष्टी
ये बात तो मैं 25 सालों से सुन रही हूँ. कुछ नहीं हुआ. सही कहा तुमने. I request all the participants to please mute their mic. ये दोनों लड़के मेरे स्कैन देखते थे यहाँ पे क्या चाहते हैं? बेटी तुम बताओ. चलो इन्होंने तो अपनी ड्यूटी गलत क्या है? अभी लगा भैया के बारे में उल्टा सीधा क्यों बोल रही है?
Miss Vidya JS, kindly mute yourself.
कैमरे का समझ है हमने गया ना हमारी
Aditya. Recording in progress.
तो चला तुझ्या मागून.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, madam.
Good afternoon, madam.
Good afternoon.
Gaurav, you seem to be on mute. I think if you're speaking.
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible to you?
Yeah, now audible.
Ma'am, with your permission and VC sir's permission, can we begin with the inaugural ceremony?
Yeah, please.
Yes.
Ma'am, today we have Mehak for the moderation. So Mehak will be taking over the session. Mehak, can we proceed?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Good morning, everyone. Vidyadhanam sarvadhanatam pradhanam. Education is the supreme wealth among all kind of wealth. A very good afternoon to the distinguished speakers and all dignitaries present over here. I, Mehak from Droid Penal Group, welcome you all to the 15 days online refresher course on National Education Policy and the Teaching Pedagogy organized by New Law College, Bharatiya Vidyapeeth, deemed to be University, Pune, and Droid Penal Group, a unit of Arjun Das Gulati Memorial Society, Prayagraj, in collaboration with Guru Angad Dev Teaching Learning Center, Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching, Ministry of Education, Government of India. Now let's have some brief introduction about our organizers. About Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching, Ministry of Education, Government of India. Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching is a scheme launched by the Ministry of Education, Government of India. The aim of the scheme is to improve the quality of education and higher education by addressing comprehensively all issues related to teachers, teaching, teacher preparation, professional development, curriculum designing and developing assessment and evaluation methodology, research in pedagogy, and developing effective pedagogy. Many centers such as TLC, FDC, School of Education, etc. have been opened throughout the country. About Guru Angad Dev Teaching Learning Center, SGTB Khalsa College, University of Delhi. Guru Angad Dev Teaching Learning Center was inaugurated on 1st July 2016 by Srimati Smriti Zubin Irani. Guru Angad Dev Teaching Learning Center is a leading center which has been created under the Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching of the Ministry of Education, Government of India, which addresses comprehensively all issues related to teachers, teaching, teacher preparation, and professional development, and thus helps in the preparation of modern age ICT savvy teachers. The center empowers through various basic and advanced workshops for teachers in pedagogy, virtual and blended, and ICT skills. Ministry of Education has also selected Guru Angad Dev Teaching Learning Center as a National Resource Center of Chemistry in 2018. Since 2016, it has trained more than 72,000 teachers in the areas of e-learning, blended learning, pedagogies, ICT tools, and education technologies, etc. The core team of Guru Angad Dev Teaching Learning Center has expertise of developing more than 50 MOOCs for SWAYAM platform of Government of India, and the e-content produced by the Guru Angad Dev Teaching Learning Center has been rated as one of the best in quality at the national level. About Bharatiya Vidyapeeth, deemed to be University, Pune. Bharatiya Vidyapeeth, the parent of Bharatiya Vidyapeeth University, was established on 10th May 1964 by Dr. Patangrao Kadam with the objective of bringing about intellectual awakening and overall development of the people of our country through education. Bharatiya Vidyapeeth is now a leading institution in the country, which has created history by establishing within a short span of 40 years 180 education institutions, imparting education from the pre-primary stage to postgraduate stage. The colleges and institutions of higher education impart education in different disciplines, including medicine, dentistry, Ayurveda, homeopathy, nursing, arts, science, commerce, engineering, pharmacy, management, social sciences, law, environmental science, architecture, hotel management and catering technology, physical education, computer science, library science and information technology. These education institutions have achieved an acclaimed academic excellence, cater to the educational needs of thousands of students coming from different parts of India and abroad. The teaching faculty includes highly qualified, experienced, dedicated, and student-caring teachers. These education centers are located at various places, with Mumbai, Pune, Kolhapur, Solapur, Sangli, Karad, Panchgani, Jauhar, and New Delhi. The spectacular success achieved by the Bharatiya Vidyapeeth is mainly due to division foresight, exceptional leadership, and able guidance of the founder, who has dynamic personality, that is Dr. Patangrao Kadam. About the New Law College. Bharatiya Vidyapeeth, deemed to be university, New Law College, Pune, is one of the premier institutes imparting legal education in the country. The college has secured third rank by the Education Post magazine 2022, fifth rank by the Career 360 magazine 2022, fifth rank by Outlook 2020, seventh rank by India Today, third rank by The Week, third rank by the Career 360 magazine, and has consistently been ranked among the top law schools in the country. The institute has been re-accredited with A+ grade by NAC in 2017, received Category 1 status by UGC, and also been ranked 68th by NIRF. The New Law College is also the recipient of Gold Star Award by BCI at its Golden Jubilee celebrations. New Law College is the awardee of the prestigious Best Legal Aid Center Award 2019 by the Knowledge Cheese, New Delhi. Legal Aid Center is administered by the prominent advocates offering legal services to people in need and has been recognized among the top 10 best legal aid clinics in India. Moot court practices are the lifelines of the students at New Law College, and to encourage the academic pursuits of law students, the MCs provides practical trial experiences and the real courtroom feel to the students. They are the third generation of reforms of legal education, which demands internationalization of legal education, and thus Bharatiya Vidyapeeth New Law College has established international collaborations and programs with the universities, companies, and firms at Hong Kong, Denmark, England, Wales, USA, Paris, YAG, Malaysia, Switzerland, and Thailand. The universal trend of globalization of legal research is adopted and inculcated at New Law College. Droid Penal Group, a unit of Arjun Das Gulati Memorial Society. The Arjun Das Gulati Memorial Society, which is registered under the Societies Registration Act 1860 with the Order of Registrars of Societies, has catered to the objectives of Droid Penal Group. The Droid Penal Group has also registered a Society for the Research in Criminology, Indian Legal Research Society on Criminology. This society will look into the research and publication of research work under the banner of Indian Legal Research Society on Criminology. The organization is signing MOUs with various universities, colleges, and organizations for the welfare and encouragement of young minds in the research and publication. Droid Penal Group is an initiative taken in the legal field to provide the discussions on minute nuances involved in the intricacies of law in a simple and qualified manner. The Droid Penal Indian Law Journal on Crime and Criminology was established in the year 2016, where in the year 2019, the Droid Penal Indian Law Journal on Crime and Criminology was considered as the group where we have started other ventures under the name of Droid Penal Group. The Droid Penal Indian Law Journal on IPR was established in 2019 and DP Newsletter in 2019. The Droid Penal publication in the year 2020 under the banner of Droid Penal Group, a unit of Arjun Das Gulati Memorial Society, Prayagraj. The Droid Penal Group is established for the purpose of promoting interest by organizing workshops, refresher courses, faculty development programs, capacity building programs, seminars, debates, and discussions. Not only this, but also the Droid Penal Group focusing to impart free education and training to poor and needy students. The group is actively involved in promotion of legal aid to poor and aggrieved class of society by regularly organizing the free legal aid camps. Now moving on the brief about the 15 days online refresher course on national education policy and the teaching pedagogy. Refresher courses for teachers are aimed to advance the quality of teaching and research in social sciences or different academic disciplines, both at the graduate and postgraduate level. The initiative has been taken to organize online refresher courses for the advancement of the quality of teaching and research as per the new education policy in the aspects both at the graduate and postgraduate level. The subject areas extended to substantive and procedural courses. Now I would like to invite Dr. Rajlakshmi Bagh to give the introduction of the program.
Thank you, Mehak. Good afternoon, one and all. It's an honor to welcome our chief guest, Honorable Dr. Manikrao Salunkhe sir, Vice Chancellor, Bharatiya Vidyapeeth, deemed to be University, Pune. Guest of honor and keynote speaker, Professor Ashok Kumar Bakshi sir, Vice Chancellor of PDM University, Haryana, Chairman of Guru Angad Dev Teaching Learning Center, Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya, National Mission on Teaching and Learning, Ministry of Education, Government of India. Guest of honor, Professor Dr. Vimal Rao Madam, National Director, Project Head and Joint Director, Guru Angad Dev Teaching Learning Center. Mr. Gaurav Gulati sir, Director, Droid Penal Group, Prayagraj. Dr. Ujwala Bendare Madam, Dean, Principal in Charge, Bharatiya Vidyapeeth, deemed to be University, New Law College. Our team members, Dr. Jayashree Kandhare Madam, Ms. Smita Vedpathak Madam, Ms. Ayushi Ma'am, and Ms. Mehak Ma'am. And our participants from different states of India. I, Dr. Raj Lakshmi Bagh, Assistant Professor, Bharatiya Vidyapeeth, deemed to be University, New Law College, welcome you all to this online 15-day refresher course on National Education Policy and Teaching Pedagogy, organized by Bharatiya Vidyapeeth, deemed to be University, and Droid Penal Group, Prayagraj, Allahabad, in collaboration with Guru Angad Dev Teaching Learning Center, Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya, National Mission on Teachers and Teaching, Ministry of Education, Government of India. This refresher course is as per UGC CAS Regulations 2018. Refresher course for teachers are aimed to advance the quality of teaching and research in their academic disciplines, both at graduate and postgraduate levels, as per the new education policy. The present online refresher course will look at the syllabus, study material, and teaching methods, updating recent developments in knowledge and skill on emerging tools and techniques for better teaching, learning of these subjects will be the focus of this course. This 15-day course is aimed at providing academicians and research scholars who would like to update their knowledge for best teaching methodology and practices, materials, content analysis, presentation style to enhance the teaching skills and to promote discussion, to share the ideas and experiences with fellow professors as adopted in the new education policy. Participants are encouraged to share their experiences and views. The expected learning outcome includes not just updating knowledge, but also how to translate it into teaching learning modules in the respective subjects. Through exchange of experience, the course expects to adopt best practices and innovative methods in teaching and research. The methodology is online sessions comprising of 2 sessions per day. The compulsory lecture shall be followed by assignment and cumulative assessment of the assignment, classroom lectures, case study, exercises based on group discussion, presentation by participants. The subject topics to be covered in this refresher course are as follows: higher education, national education policy, UGC norms for teaching, research under national education policy, digital transformation in higher education abroad and in India, empowering teachers for the 21st century challenges in higher education as per the new education policy 2020. Indian law, the policy on urban development, analysis of the past, present, and future. Use of ICT tools for enhancing quality of the higher education in India. Online teaching and creating MOOCs. Tools to engage students and to make online sessions interactive and also to evaluate them. And also, very important aspect is introduction to research for project, research, and analysis. So the basic learning outcomes after this online refresher course is that the participating teachers will be aware of various useful teaching skills and teaching tools. Their theoretical and practical approach will be broadened. They will be well versed at various teaching skills adopted by participants across the nation. There are a few instructions for the participants to have to attend the online lectures. Also, video recordings of the lectures will be provided on the My e-class, which will be demonstrated to you. Question and answers and hand-on sessions through Zoom app. It is mandatory to fill the attendance and feedback form daily. The participants have to do self-practice by themselves. Mentors will be available to solve the queries and provide assistance during the practice. I hope there will be a lot of takeaway in the form of academics from our attempt in organizing the refresher course for you. Thank you. On to you, Mehak.
Thank you, ma'am. Would like to invite Dr. Mrs. U.S. Pendale, Dean and IC Principal, Bharatiya Vidyapeeth, deemed to be University, New Law College, Pune, to welcome all our dignitaries and participants for the program.
Thank you, Mehak. I'll begin with a very warm good afternoon to everyone. Welcome to 15 days online refresher course on National Education Policy and Teaching Pedagogy, organized by Bharatiya Vidyapeeth, deemed to be University, New Law College, Pune, and Droid Penal Group, a unit of ADGMS Prayagraj, in collaboration with Guru Angad Dev Teaching Learning Center, Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya, National Mission of Teachers and Teaching, Ministry of Education, Government of India. The tenure of this course is from 21st of March to 4th of April 2022. Dear all, we are blessed with a versatile academician and administrator as the chief guest for today's inauguration function, and our beloved patron, Honorable Manikrao Salunke Sir, the Vice Chancellor, Bharatiya Vidyapeeth, deemed to be University, Pune. I am indebted to Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir for gracing this occasion. Thank you, sir. I wholeheartedly welcome our guest of honor, keynote speaker, Professor A.K. Bakshi Sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor, PDM University, Haryana. I also warmly welcome Professor Vimal Rar Ma'am, National Coordinator, Guru Angad Dev Teaching Learning Center, and I express my gratitude to all these dignitaries for gracing today's inaugural function. I'm indebted and grateful to Mr. Gaurav Gulati ji, Director, Droid Penal Group, and Dr. Raj Lakshmi Wag Madam for consistently working towards executing this innovative refresher course. Today, I'm here to formally introduce you all to Bharatiya Vidyapeeth, deemed to be University. Most of the things are covered by Mehak, but still, I will fail in my duty if I don't mention more of the, core achievements of Bharatiya Vidyapeeth and why we are so special. Bharatiya Vidyapeeth is an A+ accreditation in third cycle by NAC in 2017. It is awarded category 1 deemed to be university grade by UGC, and it has been ranked 63rd among universities by NIRF 2020. The institutions of Bharatiya Vidyapeeth were accorded deemed university status in 1996 for its academic excellence. Bharatiya Vidyapeeth offers programs in innovative and emerging areas. Bharatiya Vidyapeeth is multi-campus and multidisciplinary, and it is catering to the needs of urban and rural students. And it has world-class infrastructure and facilities. Bharatiya Vidyapeeth has launched several innovative academic programs, and it has best teaching learning processes and has entered into national as well as international collaborations. Dear all, let me tell you, all this academic excellence of Bharatiya Vidyapeeth has been possible only because of Honorable Dr. Patanrao Kadam Saheb, the founder of Bharatiya Vidyapeeth, deemed to be University, a visionary who, at the age of 18 years, decided to establish Bharatiya Vidyapeeth as a distinct educational institution. Today, Dr. Patanrao Kadam Saheb is the guiding star for the whole of Bharatiya Vidyapeeth fraternity. Bharatiya Vidyapeeth is blessed with a dynamic chancellor, Professor Dr. Shivaji Rao Kadam Sir, a brilliant academician and down-to-earth personality who zealously maintains the academic excellence of Bharatiya Vidyapeeth University. Stepping on the footsteps of Honorable Saheb and Sir is our young and visionary patron, Honorable Dr. Vishwajit Kadam Sir, Secretary Bharatiya Vidyapeeth, Pro Vice Chancellor Bharati Vidyapeeth deemed to be university, member AICTE, and Honorable State Minister Government of Maharashtra. Supporting Dr. Vishwajit Kadam sir is Dr. Ashmita Tai Jagtap, Executive Director, Bharati Vidyapeeth Medical Foundations, Office of Health Sciences, Pune, Sangli, and Navi Mumbai. Today, under the excellent guidance of our beloved patrons, New Law College Pune has been consistently ranked amongst top law institutes of India. New Law College has been re-accredited with A+ grade by NAC and has also received Gold Star Award from Bar Council of India on the eve of its Golden Jubilee celebrations. New Law College recently has been awarded as the best law college in India for research and pedagogy by IIRF Education Impact Awards, New Delhi 2021. The best practices we follow at our institutions are international collaborations, innovative interdisciplinary programs, international placements, continuous and clinical legal education, social justice through free legal aid and NSS activities. Bharati Vidyapeeth, deemed to be university through its constituent units, not only functions for students' development, but also aims at advancing the quality of teaching and research. Thus, this collaboration is an initiative for the advancement of the quality of teaching and research as per the new education policy. Dear all, let me tell you that the National Education Policy has set the foundation for 21st century India, and it emphasizes on individual not to be stuck to a single profession all his life, but it aims that he should continuously reskill and upskill himself, for which the National Education Policy focuses on teacher at the center of the fundamental reforms in the education system, wherein it re-establishes teachers as the most respected and essential members of the society, because they truly shape our next generation of citizens. And further, the policy says that the teaching pedagogy must evolve to make education more experiential, holistic, integrated, inquiry-driven, discovery-oriented, learner-centered, discussion-based, flexible, and of course, enjoyable. So dear participants, teachers, I wish you all the best. And through this platform, I remind all of us that we all are under the obligation that we, the teachers, are under the obligation to create future-ready generations. Once again, I express my gratitude towards all the dignitaries and rest my speech over here. Thank you. Over to you, Mehak.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Vimal Rar, National Coordinator, Guru Angad Dev Teaching Learning Center, Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching, Ministry of Education, Government of India. Dr. Vimal Rar is a senior chemistry faculty at SGTB Khalsa College, University of Delhi, who did MSc and PhD from University of Delhi and postdoctorate from IIT Delhi. With a decade of experience in the corporate e-learning world, she is amongst the pioneers in implementing ICT in higher education in the country and is a tech-savvy teacher. Apart from her e-learning expertise, she has a research interest in forensic science and organic chemistry. Dr. Vimal Rar is a leading woman entrepreneur in the field of e-learning with a decade of experience in the corporate e-learning sector as well. She has to her credit many research papers, a patent, books, presentations, projects, and invited talks at local, national, and international forums. She is one of the leading e-learning experts of India who has made a mark at the national level in various activities such as development of e-content, teachers e-kit, MOOCs, empowerment of teachers in ICT skills, introduction of new teaching methodologies, etc. Not only in chemistry, but guided the same for many other disciplines as well. She is also managing 3 centers working in the field of e-learning at the national level over and above her teaching responsibilities. She is the only chemistry teacher of the country to be awarded the National Resource Center of Chemistry of Ministry of Education, Government of India for developing ARPIT courses 3 times in a row for all chemistry teachers of India. As Joint Director and Project Head of Guru Angad Dev Teaching Learning Center of Ministry of Education, Government of India, she has trained more than 45,000 teachers, and as Deputy Director of Center for E-Learning, SGTB Khalsa College, she has developed more than 50 MOOCs in 4-quadrant format for SWAYAM platform. The quality of the e-content developed by her in Arpit courses in chemistry has been rated amongst the best in the country by the Ministry of Education. She is contributing in policy making at national level in various committees like Online Courses Regulations 2018 of UGC, E-Governance Committee at UGC, and E-Content Committee for National Educational Alliance in Technology of AICTE. She is a governing body member of around 10 autonomous colleges of the country. She is also the member of newly formed committee to review and continue the EPG Pathshala project in next phase at UGC. She has guided development of video studios for many institutions, including for AICTE. Dr. Rar has been conferred with various awards like Edupreneur Award by Minister of Education, Bahrain, Delhi Ratan Award, Edupreneur Innovator Award, to name a few. One of the 3 case studies as Best MOOCs from India on her design MOOC has been published in the Australian and Indian Quality Assured Online Learning by Australia-India Institute for Department of Higher Education and Training, Australia Government. She has been recently selected to be awarded the prestigious Indian National Science Academy Teacher Award 2020. A very good afternoon, ma'am, and warm welcome to you. We are truly privileged to have you here with us. I now request Dr. Vimal Rar, ma'am, to proceed with the session.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mehak, for the kind introduction. Warm good afternoon to each and everyone. Very respected Professor Dr. Manik-Rao Salanke, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Bharatiya Vidyapeeth. Very respected Professor A.K. Bakshi, Honorable Vice Chancellor, PDM University, Bahadurgarh, and Chairman of our Center, GAD-TLC. Very respected Dr. U.S. Bendley, Dean and In-Charge Principal of New Law College, Pune. Also, my colleagues from our coordinating institutions, Dr. Raj Lakshmi Wagh, Mehak and Gaurav Gulati from Droid Penal Group, and most importantly, all my dear colleagues who have joined in this 15 days refresher program themed on national education policy and teaching pedagogy. Let me just share my screen. I will welcome each one of you in this 15 days online refresher course. On behalf of Guru Angad Dev Teaching Learning Center, it is the center of Ministry of Education under the prestigious Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching Scheme. The center is located at my own premier institution, Shri Guru Tegh Bahadur Khalsa College, a constituent college of University of Delhi. So I welcome you on behalf of University of Delhi and my own SCTB Khalsa College. And we are seeking blessings from not only Bharat Ratna Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya ji, in whose name this scheme has been centrally named, as well as Guru Angad Dev ji, under whose name we have kept the center name, who is the second of the 10 Sikh Gurus chosen by none other than Guru Nanak Dev ji to take his preachings to the world. And in a very humble effort, we are reaching to our colleagues across the country and going international also now, where we can all learn together the new changes which are happening into higher education and the technology expertise our team has. We are trying to spread that to all of you. And we have a visionary advisory committee headed by Professor A.K. Bakshi sir. He is the chairman, and we have other very eminent academicians who are guiding constantly. And I'll especially welcome all of you on behalf of Professor Jaswinder Singh, who is the Director GAD-TLC and Principal SCTB Khalsa College, and he will also be joining in one of the sessions with you. And together we are taking this since 2016. We have a state-of-art infrastructure in terms of hands-to-hand training as well, the requisite studio facilities, the technical team, which are the new ways of teaching pedagogies. And since 2016, we have been doing these offline programs, but then since Corona, we have gone into offline. The center was inaugurated by Smriti Zubin Irani ji, the then Honorable HRD Minister. So few words from her on the inaugural of our center.
आज मैं विशेष रूप से बधाई देती हूँ प्रोफेसर बख्शी को, विमल जी को, जिन्होंने बहुत मेहनत करके इस सेंटर को जीवित रूप में आपके सामने प्रस्तुत किया। ये एक टीचर की ललक उसके उत्साह का उदाहरण है कि भारत सरकार ने दिसंबर 2014 को माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के हाथों पंडित मदन मोहन मालवीय नेशनल मिशन को राष्ट्र के सामने प्रस्तुत किया। लेकिन उसमें हमने एक शर्त रखी कि जो भी इस प्रोजेक्ट से जुड़े वो स्वयं एक अनोखा टीचिंग लर्निंग का प्रस्ताव लेकर आए, और उस प्रस्ताव में जो अनोखा हो अथवा वो प्रस्ताव अगर शिक्षकों के माध्यम से आए तो विशेष रूप से हमारा सहयोग ऐसे प्रोत्साहित शिक्षकों को जो दूरगामी परिणाम देख सकते हैं, ऐसे शिक्षकों को समर्थन करने का हमारा प्रयास।
And why दूरगामी, I think अब realize होता है in the last 2 years in the corona pandemic, the technology has played so much important role, and we should not be leaving that in the new normal. We should be taking that along. And since then, actually more than now a decade, our team has been working at ground level in the e-learning and the educational technologies which can enhance the quality of it. Technology is not just for the sake of integrating technology that yes, when the NAC team comes, we are having a smart board, but how properly they can be used along with the latest tech pedagogies and in different subject, different models we have created, and that is what we are taking to the entire country with our fellow colleagues, and more is being created with the help of all of you. So your inputs in this program will also be very much valuable to us. We have been conducting various workshops, faculty induction program, faculty development program, development of open educational resource as teachers, e-kit, e-learning objects, to name a few. And the idea everywhere is what all ingredient is required for taking ourselves as teaching community to meet the aspirations of the 21st century learners. And for that, how we can prepare them holistically, not only in their subject front, but also for their entire life journey. And as rightly said by earlier speaker, that how to unlearn and relearn, these are the new challenges. It is not just the information sharing, but the information is there with the student, but how as teachers we can become co-learners with them as well as facilitators with them. We also have another center, which is Center for E-Learning, where we have developed EPG Pathshala content in 4-quadrant format, and happy to share the 4-quadrant format designed in this program by myself and Professor Bakshi was accepted not only for our 6 subjects, but all the 77 subjects, and took shape in the new 4-quadrant format for the SWAYAM portal. And here also, out of the 63 MOOCs of PG level, we have contributed 42 in the first phase. And not only this, we have been now continuing our journey with various other associations like Indian Cancer Society, many universities. We have done the technical work of video editing and recording. And this Indian Cancer Society MOOCs, I will request all of you to join. This is on cancer fundamentals, and this is something, a life skill, which will be helpful to all of us and our students as well. We have also co-designed this faculty induction program, a flagship program of Ministry of Education, which is now mandatory for every new entry into higher education. Earlier, there used to be orientation programs, but they were not structured. There was no content framework around that. And here it was throughout, out of these 12 modules, 8 modules is our own team's contribution, which has been thought over that how their teachers can be holistically prepared. And I will rather request that those, even if you are already crossed that promotional requirement, this 1 month program, if you look, all the other things are smaller versions, and this gives you an entire understanding right from the roles and responsibilities of a faculty, knowing their entire university structure functioning, the psychology aspect, the leadership, the strategic planning, management. So because now in NEP, we are also looking for institutional development plan being prepared. So there has to be a vision which the teachers should be acquainted with, and then they will be able to do justice to all these newer changes which are being embraced in our higher education. And online is right now, but we have been conducting face-to-face programs, many of them across the country. We have moved as a team and teachers have come from across the country to our center. But then since April 2020, because of Corona pandemic, we have moved online, and the benefit that we have been able to see is the teachers earlier were not ready. They were like, these tools are there more than 2 decades now. But in training sector, for students, it has to be blended. But what I see is in training, really the online is giving flexibility to teachers where they can do their professional commitments, because many times they could not go out for such a long span of even 1 week or 15 days or 1 month. But now, along with their other professional and personal requirements, they can also do this. And that's why we have been again out of the around 90 centers, we are one of the 3 leading centers of the scheme, and we have also evolved this flexible mode for all of you. We understand how the teachers will be more adaptive to these changes, and since then we have been conducting various events online. This teachers e-kit is my own conceptualization, and thousands of teachers are also contributing towards this, and this will be available. Many teachers kit are already available on my class, and many more will be available. We're also having this National Resource Center of Chemistry. Here again, since the last 3 years, again, this is last year's statistics, that out of 42 courses in different subjects, our chemistry course in terms of the ARPIT program has been rated #1 in terms of the number of enrollments and the quality. Coming to this 15 days online refresher course, first of all, my congratulations to our coordinating partners, Bharati Vidyapeeth, the Law College, and Droit Penal Group, and for designing this in a very unique way where NEP is the focus, and around that how teaching pedagogies can be evolved, and where all the parameters have been, and that's what is the way that in collaborative programs we get a new mix, and there is expertise of different kind in every institution. That is what we are trying to leverage, and I'm thankful to both our collaborating institution. I'm also thankful to all of you to join this program. And please, although this program, yes, will be fulfilling your CAS requirement, but that will be certificate will be provided only if you successfully complete our requirements of assignment, which is projects attendance, which is mapped both ways in LMS as well as Zoom. So if you miss Zoom, then it can be handled on the recorded session. But then all has to be completed. If it is not completed, then we will not be able to issue certificates. And another very humble request to all my dear colleagues is that all these changes which are happening in our higher education, which are happening for the betterment, as NEP is very aspirational, where it is looking into holistic development of student, but also the emphasis on technology towards the 21st century skills. How we can prepare him or her if we ourselves as teachers are not equipped into these tools. So in our classroom teaching processes, I think there has to be a change. The assessment techniques have to be the newer way, and the use of tools like learning management system and others becomes very, very pertinent. And I'm thankful to all the resource persons who will be giving their enlightening sessions, starting from Professor A.K. Bakshi sir, who will be giving his keynote. And I'm thankful to Professor Manikra Salunke sir also to having agreed and joined in this inaugural event as a chief guest. We are looking forward to your kind words of blessing, sir. And I'm sure that all my dear colleagues are going to enrich in this. And another thing which I want to take, don't take it as just a promotional requirement. This is a requirement where all of us have to prepare so that we can prepare our students, and through our students, we can prepare our society, and we can prepare our country as #1. So with these words, thank you, everyone. Thanks. And we will be taking it further. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for enlightening us with your words and deep insights. Now for the inaugural session, we have with us our guest of honor and keynote speaker, Professor A.K. Bakshi, Honorable Vice Chancellor, PDM University, Bahadurgarh, Haryana, to speak on the topic of empowering teachers for 21st Century Challenges in Higher Education. Professor A.K. Bakshi, former Sir Shankar Lal Professor of Chemistry in the University of Delhi, is presently founding Vice Chancellor of PDM University, Bahadurgarh, Haryana. He has been Executive Director of Tertiary Education Commission, Mauritius, a post for which he was selected through a global selection, and Vice Chancellor of UP Rajarshi Tandon Open University, Allahabad. Professor Bakshi is also presently Chairman of the National Resource Centre of Chemistry of Ministry of Education, Guru Angad Dev Teaching Learning Centre of Ministry of Education and Centre for E-Learning, all located at SGTB Khalsa College of University of Delhi. Professor A.K. Bakshi has also been the member of Standing Committee of the National Mission on Education through ICT of the Government of India. He was also known the Chairman of the Content Advisory Committee for Chemistry for Sakshit Portal of the Ministry of Education, Government of India. He has also been Head, Department of Chemistry, Director of CPDHE, and Director of Institute of Lifelong Learning of Delhi University. He has also been a visiting professor at GGS-IP University in Delhi. A double gold medalist and recipient of several awards and academic honors, Professor Bakshi was felicitated 2 times for his outstanding contributions to education by the former President of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Professor Bakshi is the author and co-author of more than 180 research and education articles, etc., and 1 patent. He has to his credit 11 books as author and co-author, 51 e-books and books as editor, chairman, convener of the working group, and 63 e-modules as author and co-author for PG chemistry courses and Arpit programs of the Ministry of Education. Professor Bakshi has also been a member of National Writing Team for Chemistry of Class 11 and 12 books of NCERT. Professor Bakshi was elected as the President of the Section of Chemical Sciences of the Indian Science Congress Association for the year 2011 and 12. He has also been a member of various committees of national and international importance. He is also one of the first persons from universities in India to have been selected as a member scientist of 3rd Indian Research Expedition to Antarctica. A very good afternoon and warm welcome to you, sir. We are truly privileged to have you here with us. I now request Professor A.K. Bakshi, sir, to proceed with the session.
Thank you very much, Madam, for your very kind words of introduction. Esteemed Professor Saluke, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Bharatiya Vidyapeeth, Deemed University, Professor Dr. U.S. Bendele, Dean and In Charge Principal, New Law College of the University, Mr. Gaurav Gulati, Director, Dwight Penale Group. Then we have also conveners and co-conveners, namely Dr. Raj Lakshmi P. Wagh and Ms. Ayushi Dwivedi. And of course, Professor Vimal Rar, who is the motivating force behind all these programs. She is the Joint Director of Guru Angad Dev Teaching Learning Center and looking after all the activities of the center. It's indeed a great honor and a privilege to have this opportunity to be a part of this very important inaugural address of a 15-day program on national education policy and new teaching pedagogies. As you know, this Guru Angad Dev Teaching Learning Center has been created under Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching. It is a central scheme of the Government of India, which mainly focuses on teachers and their teaching. And the main aim of this program is also, besides new education policy, it is also new teaching pedagogy. So under this scheme of the Government of India, we focus on empowering teachers as to how they should change with the changing times. And therefore, keeping that thing in mind, I have designed and prepared my keynote address on learner-centric pedagogy or learner-centric education for 21st century learning needs. That is the title of my talk. So before I start, let me share my screen. Gaurav, would you please confirm, is my screen visible and
Yes, sir,
am I audible?
Yes, audible as well as visible, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So as you can see, the title of my talk is Learner-Centric Education for 21st Century Learning Needs. And then I have written here, learnings from the ground. It's basically from our experience, what we have learned about this new technique. So this is the theme of my talk. Now, what is the main concept behind this talk? That could be the question. Whether we call it learner-centric education or student-centered, there may be different names. But the entire focus of this is let all the students do all the work. Why, how, what, where. You know, we normally come across teacher-centered learning. That is primarily what we follow in our education system, where teacher tries to improve his or her learning or her teaching. But learner-centered learning is in contrast how we can improve students' learning. So you can immediately see that learner-centered learning is very important because we ultimately focus on students' learning. So this is one point which we have to keep it in mind. So we have to focus on the needs of the students. You know, we should keep it in mind that learning is not the product of teaching. Learning is the product of activity of learners. So if we want our students to learn, we need to engage our students. We need to engage the learners. That is basically the spirit behind learner-centered education. And the focus of learner-centered teaching, as we will see during the presentation, is what the student is learning, how the student is learning, conditions under which the student is learning, then whether the student is retaining and applying the learning, and then how the current learning positions the student for learning for the future. So all these questions will come in this method of teaching. So this is the concept behind my talk. But I will start from very, very basics because I think we have teachers from different disciplines. Therefore, excuse me if I'm trying to be too elementary. First, let's be very clear about education and learning. You know, learning means the acquisition of knowledge, skills, values, traits, etc. through study, experience, or being taught. So that is what we call as holistic education. And we should also keep it in mind that there are three types of education. One is the formal education, which we offer in our universities, colleges, and institutions. Then is an informal education, which comes through social interactions, traveling, meeting people, etc. And the third is non-formal education, which basically deals with training program, just as this faculty development program comes under non-formal education. So from all the three types of education, we always learn. That is why, it is said, learning is a continuous process from childhood onwards. That is why we call it a lifelong learning. There is a very famous quote from Albert Einstein that the intellectual growth of an individual starts at birth and ceases only at death. So throughout the life, we are learning. Learning is a journey, not a destination. One more thing which I want you to understand before we move further is there are three domains of human learning. One is the cognitive domain, which basically deals with development of mental skills, thinking part, and it comes in head. So head is involved in this learning, cognitive domain. Second is where hand is involved, that is doing. That is the manual or physical skills. Some people are very good at reading, writing, typing, making diagrams. All that comes under psychomotor domain or physical skills. And the third is affective domain, which is associated with heart, feelings. So it basically deals with emotional feelings. So that is basically the third domain. For example, you develop certain interests or attitudes or appreciation, etc. All come under affective domain. So one thing now is clear, there are three types of education and there are three categories of learning. And all are involved in our lifelong learning from our birth till death. This is how we can understand the three domains of learning. Head gives you cognitive, hand gives you psychomotor, and heart gives you affective domain. And as you can see, it is the corresponding thinking, feeling, and doing which are involved. We generally talk about cognitive domain, that is the mental skills. And here we should be very clear. Education is not the learning of the facts. It is the training of the mind to think. One should not be oblivious of the fact that our greatest natural resource is the minds of our young children. India is one of the youngest nations of the world, with 50% of the population less than 25 years and 65% of the population less than 35 years. So we have to ready these children for future. That is what we say as human resource development. So children or students must be taught how to think and not what to think. So we need to encourage inquisitiveness and out-of-box thinking in our students. And this cannot be done overnight. This needs to be done from childhood onwards. And it won't be wrong if I say that the foundation for all this needs to be built from childhood, from school days onwards, through the training of the mind to think. That should be the purpose of education. Because if we are not doing this, then we are not achieving the goals of education. Please remember, a child miseducated is a child lost. We don't want to lose our children by not educating them properly. So this is the first aspect. Second aspect is, now we are living in the information age in this 21st century. So in my title, I said 21st century learning needs. So you may ask, what are those learning needs, or what are going to be the challenges? You know, this information age poses a lot of challenges. One is that this is an age of uncertainty. You know, this is the Future of Jobs report published by the World Economic Forum in 2019, which says that 65% of the children entering primary school right now, that means in 2019, will be working in jobs that don't even exist right now. So we don't know where our students will be employed tomorrow. That way it is uncertain. Then this is also an age of artificial intelligence. This is an age where the artificial intelligence will equal the intelligence of the students by the time they finish the education. So now, if I can have machines with the same intelligence as you, then why do I need you? This is going to be another challenge. And the third challenge is, this is an age of massification of higher education. This is an age where more students over the next 30 years will graduate than since the beginning of the recorded history. So what does it mean? We are trying to increase gross enrollment ratio. So many graduates will be coming, but the traditional jobs will be very few. So the competition is going to become very tough. Many takers, few jobs. So as a teacher, it is going to be a challenge for all of you. How to teach the student to succeed in a future that you know nothing about, which is so uncertain. This thing, we have to keep it in mind, because ultimately, teacher is the pivot of the education system. This we should not forget. Next point which I want to tell is, what are going to be the 21st century learning needs in the light of the challenges which I just told you. You know, it is said that in the 21st century, if anybody wants to excel, one needs two things. One is the rigorous academic content. You should be very, very good in the subject, in any discipline, wherever you may be. And second is, you need 21st century skills. These two taken together will lead to deeper learning. So knowledge and skills both are required. Now you may ask, what are these 21st century skills? 21st century skills are a set of abilities which students need to develop in order to succeed in this information age. You know, these skills will help the students to face the challenges. And what are these 21st century skills? These are the skills. As you can see, they come under three headings: learning skills, literacy skills, and life skills. Under learning skills, we have 4 C's: critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and communication. These are going to be very, very important in the 21st century. Literacy skills means information literacy, media literacy, and technology literacy. And life skills means flexibility, leadership, initiative, productivity, and social skills. Taken together, these are 12 skills which are very, very important in the 21st century. You may ask the question, why they have suddenly become so important? Because in view of the challenges which I told you, you cannot have machines with these skills. You can't have a machine which is critically thinking. You can't have a machine which is having leadership quality or which is creative. So all those individuals who will have these skills they will be preferred in the 21st century. As a matter of fact, these skills will be the deciding factor in this information age. So now you can understand why we need to focus on that. Why I am telling all this? We are building because ultimately education has to give all this. And that is why I am preparing this ground for my continuation of the talk. You know, this is a report that these are the top 3 missing soft skills in our students. 37% is the problem solving, critical thinking, innovation, and creativity missing in our students. Then ability to deal with complexity and ambiguity, and then communication. You know, we were never told communication skills that important. And you know, these two, creative thinking and critical thinking, are very important. Creative thinking basically means what? Creative thinking basically means the thinking we do when we generate ideas. When we come out with new ideas, it is creative thinking. And critical thinking means the thinking which we do when we judge ideas, when we examine ideas. And this habit cannot be, you know, obtained in one day. It has to be a habit. Out of the box thinking should be there. And now one thing more which I would like to tell you is, because of all this, in 21st century, the concept of success is changing. Success has altogether a different meaning now than what it had in the past. Successful people in the 21st century will create their own jobs rather than working in the traditional jobs. Nobody will do that in future. They will choose their own hours and office, live and work from anywhere in the world. They will work with peers across the globe. Then they will change what they are working on to keep up with their interests and abilities. Then they will outsource the things they don't like doing. They will travel as much as they want for as long as they like. And then they will enjoy earning potential that is not capped by a salary figure, no fixed. So you can see in future, the concept of success will be all this. It will be very rare in future that you have a fixed job and you are only working there. All this is going to happen. And already, you know, these are some of the leading companies, Google, Starbucks, EY, IBM, etc. They are already hiring people without degrees. They say, we don't bother about degrees. We are bothered about skill sets. If you have skills, come to us, we will take you after testing. So that is what the future is going to be. And one more point, in 21st century, the focus of all of us, including our students, should be on acquiring competence for excellence. Just as I said now, quality education is of 3 parts: knowledge, that is disciplinary knowledge, interdisciplinary, and practical knowledge. All the 3 are important. Then 21st century skills I just mentioned. And then third thing is values, attitudes, traits, disposition. That means your overall personality. These 3 constitute quality education. And this is what you need in order to succeed in the modern world. Quality education is a must. You know that United Nations, you know, has already defined sustainable development goals, which countries are supposed to achieve by 2030. And these are 17 goals. And quality education is said to be the basis of all of that. So if you have the quality education, you can also, countries can also achieve those goals. Even there is a Future of Education and Skills report, OECD, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. You know, look at this, how beautifully they put. You need knowledge, then you need skills, and then you need attitudes and values. And these three taken together make you competent. So competency is defined by these three things. That is what it means. You know, when we were students, let me tell you honestly, we generally focused on knowledge. Skills were never, imbibed in us, never. And nobody bothered about personality. They thought everybody will have some personality. But now things have changed. If you want to succeed in any profession, you need these three things: knowledge, skills, and proactive personality, and then it will lead to your competence. So aim should be to acquire competence. Competence is like an iceberg phenomena. 1/9 is above sea, that is knowledge and skills. Anybody, what knowledge and skills, you can always find out. But personality, you cannot find out so easily. That remains below the sea. 90% remains below that. That is unknown to others. And in fact, that is the deciding factor in your achieving excellence. So this point, you have to keep it in mind. We have been just focusing in our education system on knowledge. Skills, now slowly people are becoming more aware, but personality is still something which remains neglected. But for success, you need good proactive personality. There is a report that 87% of all people fail in life, I would put it, not because of capability, but because of personality. So you need to focus on personality development. Personality is who we are and what we do when everybody is watching. Character is who we are and what we do when nobody is watching. So I have so far given you the whole background as to what education in the 21st century should lead us to. Having said that, now I come to examining the present education system of India, and let's see where are we faltering. If we look at the present education system in India, whether it is learner or teacher centric, three aspects are generally very important. What do we teach? How do we teach? And how do we assess our students? These are three very important components in any education system. So, it is said, let me tell you right in the beginning, that our major problem in India is our students are of the 21st century. The content which we teach generally is of 19th century. Courses architecture is of 19th century. And methods of teaching are of 20th century. So there is a mismatch. That's a very serious drawback. Now let us examine each one of these steps one by one. Curriculum, what do we teach? Curriculum basically means not syllabus. Curriculum means the total learning experience in an institution. Generally, syllabi is a part of curriculum. Generally, we have very heavy syllabi, many outdated topics are there. The result is there is a gap between what is learned and what should be learned. And it is all decided by the teachers generally. Then National Education Policy says curriculum should be light because they want students to have more time for thinking. So core essentials should be included, but it should be modern because knowledge is growing very, very fast. There was a time when knowledge was getting doubled in almost 150 years. But now doubling time of the growth of knowledge has come down to 73 days. So you can very well imagine how soon our knowledge is getting outdated. So we need to change with the changing times. What we know in any discipline, let me tell you, what we know is merely a drop, and what we do not know is an ocean. Second is pedagogy. How do we teach? Generally, we teach by the traditional chalk and talk method. Most of the universities and colleges. It has some advantages, but it is not without limitations. It is a teacher-centric approach. It presumes that all students learn in an identical fashion. That may not be true. And then it's mainly a monologue method. Students are merely passive listeners. Then it is slow and time-consuming. And many complex concepts sometimes you cannot explain on the board. And then due to the paucity of time, many problems you can't solve in the class because you have to finish the syllabus. And this traditional teacher-centric method focuses more on examination, rote learning, and scoring high marks. It's not able to improve much the students' learning. And it won't be wrong if I say that our teacher-centric education system does not encourage thinking, innovation, and creativity amongst the students. No, it's not possible. It doesn't do. So what is the fundamental flaw in our education system? You may ask the question. How you say that it does not encourage? You can question me. For that, just watch this small video. This is really an eye-opener.
For decades, people have been finding hundreds of flaws in the education system. No conceptual understanding, no creativity, children are stressed, and the list goes on. All these are symptoms. But what is the root cause to all this? What is the fundamental flaw in the education system? Let us play a rapid-fire game. You have 1 second to answer every question. Let's start. First question, A4? Okay, no more questions. Did you think apple first? 98% of people are most likely to think so. Because that was what we were told in our kindergarten. Imagine that this was done differently. Say we had asked you for all the words starting with A. Ant, ace, April, apt. Different answers would have popped out of everyone's head. Do you see where the problem is? Before children start going to school, every child is unique. Every child thinks different. But the education system makes every child think the same. This is the fundamental flaw in the education system. Why did this start? During the Industrial Revolution in the 18th century, the education system was designed to make children ready to work in factories. The factories did not require people to think, but to only work like robots. So, the education system stripped children of their freedom to think and destroyed their true potential. The same education system continues even today. Only the industries have changed. A study by NASA shows that 98% of children think different before they start going to school. As they go through this education system, at 25 years of age, only 2% think different, and 98% think the same. So how does the education system make every child the same? Let's go back to the apple example. Kindergarten lessons told us that A is for apple. We asked you for words that start with A. Our education system gave us the answers. We asked you a question. Answers make you the same. Questions make you different. Right from kindergarten, the education system keeps giving answers. Instead of asking children how plants make food, the science teacher gives you the definition of photosynthesis. Instead of asking them to describe the sun, the teacher tells them that the sun is a ball of fire at the center of the solar system. Through their years in school, children lose the capability to think on their own. Whether it is their choice of career or their relationship or any situation in life, they become.
So you can see how our education system deprives the children of their ability to think on their own. I think you can very well understand why this creativity we are missing. Please remember without creativity, there can be no progress. And we would be forever repeating the same pattern. So, this is a very good slide. You can see creativity depends upon three things: expertise, vast knowledge, creative thinking skills, and motivation. That can help you in becoming creative. Then from creativity, you can have innovation, and from innovation, enterprise, and you can become a successful entrepreneur. But the basic is creativity, that it should come from our education system. The third point was, how do we assess our students? Even new education policies says that we need to transform the culture of assessment. Because, assessment drives students' learning. The way you will assess your students will learn in that way. So it can be a good way to enhance quality of education. For example, at cognitive level, learning is a 6-level hierarchy. You can see this is the Bloom's taxonomy. At the bottom is remembering, then understanding, then application, then analyzing, evaluating, and creating. In our traditional classroom teaching, focus is mainly on developing lower order thinking skills. That is remembering, understanding, and applying. Higher order thinking skills are not touched. That is why we are in a state where we are. Our present examination system, you will agree, is rote-based. Focusing on lower order thinking skill, we examine student one against the other. Why? We mainly examine about the textbook content and testing facts, definitions, and procedures described in the textbook. Anything which comes from outside the textbook is branded as out of syllabus or even protested. That is how the things are. So our examination system does not bring out the real ability, achievement, or potential of the students. And it won't be wrong if I say that our teachers are not equipped with a deep understanding of how children learn and how to assess a child's overall growth. We have to understand the science of learning, how student learns. We examine children one against the other. So everything is teacher-centric. So you can very well see our present education system is teacher-centric, and we are having so much problem. Now the next point which I want to tell you is, where has our teacher-centric education system failed us? You may ask the question, what damage has it done? I already told you, but still, it has created a crisis of innovation and creativity in Indian education system. Yes, no Nobel Prize for an Indian scientist since 1930. C.V. Raman was the last person who got Nobel Prize in physics for the discovery of the Raman effect. After that, no Indian scientist has got Nobel Prize. It's already more than 90 years. These people got, but then they were non-resident Indians. Even Amartya Sen, although he is an Indian, but for decades he has been staying abroad. Even Abhijit Banerjee is an American citizen. So you can very well see. And please remember, Nobel Prize is not a lifetime achievement award. If you want to excel in research at that level, you need to have enormous amount of creativity and open-mindedness. You need to have willingness to collaborate. We sometimes prefer to work in isolation. And then you also need to have perseverance and resilience. We, in India sometimes want immediate gains. We don't have the patience. I remember year before last, the one person who got Nobel Prize in chemistry, he was 97-year-old. Just imagine. So all these qualities need to be nurtured in our students. This was my article in Times of India's Education Times, the creativity crisis in the Indian education system. So you can very well see where our present education system has landed us. That is why we say that there is a need of learner-centric education. What is the main idea behind learner-centric education? The main idea is that students learn best when engrossed in the topic, motivated to seek out new knowledge and skills on their own, because they need them in order to solve the problems at hand. This is the main idea. Let students do the whole thing. Let them find out. And this is possible now in the information age, because getting information is not a problem. You go to Google and you can get anything. The goal of learner-centric education is ultimately to produce students who are good critical thinkers, problem solvers, and creative thinkers. There is an explosion of information, no doubt. You don't need to memorize the information. You need to make sense out of that. That is what you should be trained for. And please remember, learner-centric education does not mean one method of teaching. No, that's not the meaning. You have to keep it in mind. You need to follow an integrated approach to teaching and learning. Sometimes, we teachers teach subjects in isolation as if that discipline has nothing to do with others. No, this all compartmentalization is man-made. So interdisciplinarity is the need of the hour. So this is possible only if we ourselves have the understanding, and that is what I said in the knowledge part: disciplinary knowledge, interdisciplinary knowledge, and practical knowledge. All the three things you need. So this is one aspect. Then, look at some of the leading universities of the world: Harvard, Stanford, Wharton. If you look at those, there is a lot of focus in these universities on case studies, project-based and problem-based learning, and little emphasis on lecture-based learning. We still continue to follow lecture-based learning. A teacher takes 14, 16, or 18 lectures per week. No, we have to change. We have not changed. Traditional learning is what we do. We tell students what we need to know. We are told. Then they memorize it. And then a problem is assigned to illustrate how to use what you have memorized. That's not the purpose of education. Problem-based learning you should have. Give them a problem, assign a problem. Let them find out what they need to know in order to solve that problem. Let them do the search, learn, apply, and then solve the problem. That is the problem-based learning. You will learn so much from this approach that you will never forget it. The same is in the project-based learning. There is a question which you give to them. They do research on that. They analyze, search information. They derive knowledge from the information. Then they demonstrate how it can be applied to complete the problem. Then another, collaborative learning is a very important idea. I have some idea, you have some idea. We share ideas. The best idea comes out. That is the collaborative learning environment. This needs to be encouraged. Collaborative learning means you share ideas, collaborate, discuss, community, brainstorming, interaction. But it should not be just on paper. This should be practiced in the class. And now, a new concept has come, which many universities all over the world are following. That is TPS, collaborative learning strategy. Why this is becoming important? Because this focuses on higher order thinking skills. TPS is think, pair, and share. Teacher will ask a question of a higher order thinking. A student will think about that. Then you will pair. That student will be paired with another student. That has also thought, he has also thought, so they together will share their ideas. They listen to each other's ideas, share the ideas, create new ideas together. That is pairing with your partner. So you start with an individual, then you pair with a partner, and then you share with bigger community, more and more students. That is like sharing with the class. So from one idea, through pairing and through sharing, the best will come. So this strategy promotes participation, focuses attention, and engages students. They are doing on their own. They are discussing, and they are doing, and something best will come. But ultimately, the question is, who has to take lead in this? It is the teacher only. Teacher has to take lead in this TPS collaborative strategy. That is, TPS will ultimately benefit every student. At the end of the day, every student will stand enriched, because from individual student you go to small groups, maybe pairing or 3 like that. Then you go to the whole class, and ultimately every student benefits. This approach can be very useful. It makes them do the whole work. And then, in our teaching, we need our teachers to design activities and assignments that challenge the student's mind, that enhance creative thinking ability in the students, that improve analytical skills in the students, and give students more control over their learning. But please see, who will design activities and assignments? It is the teacher. So, what I really mean to say is, teacher's role is becoming very, very important. And without empowering them, we cannot achieve anything. Learner-centered teachers guide and facilitate only. How? Just as for an orchestra, there is a conductor. He gives signs and the whole class does. That's like that. Or like a coach for a team. Or like a gardener prepare the land and let the plant to grow. It is something similar, teacher's role now. In this context, very important flipped classroom model has come, which has become very, very popular all over the world. This is a learner-centric method of teaching. These are the 2 chemistry teachers who developed that. And this basically focuses on higher order thinking skill. How in traditional classroom, teacher delivers a lecture and gives some homework activities to the student. But in the flipped classroom, teacher will give some video lecture to the students, and then it will be discussed in the class next day. That is something like this. Look at this. Teacher will create a video lecture on any topic and share it with the students. Student will watch that video lecture at home, and then they will prepare questions for the teacher. So note down this point. This is how students have to be actively involved. That is how we are engaging the students. And then at school, teacher will facilitate discussion, will answer students' questions, student will ask questions, and then the whole class is there. They will participate in collaborative learning activities. So this is called flipped classroom model. Flipped classroom model has many advantages, but some limitations. Advantages are students have a control over their learning. There are active learning opportunities. There is an efficient use of class time. In the class, you only discuss and discuss. Rest of the things you do at home. Then accountability of students for their own learning. More accessibility. When you watch a video lecture, you can search more information from the browser and search many new things. And then you are under the watchful eyes of your parents. And disadvantages, it may aggravate digital divide. Many may not have the connection, or it relies heavily on trust. Many students may not watch video at home at all. That's a problem. Then it is an extra workload on teachers. Teachers will have to work very hard to develop a video lecture, then asking the questions, and then all that problems. The biggest challenge in flipped classroom model is development of quality instructional video. And then professional training of the teachers to adopt this new approach, interactive, and then enable students acquire higher order thinking skill. All over the world, this is becoming very, very successful. But in India, we have yet to start. We should work on that. This was my article on flipped classroom for the needs of the 21st century. This was my another article. So, and now I come to the point that learner-centric education technology has to play a very important role. You know, new education policy very clearly mentions that the relationship between technology and education at all levels is bidirectional. Technology enhances the quality of education, and enhanced quality of education then further improves the technology. So they feed on each other. Look at this, how much we are dependent on internet. This is just what happens in 1 internet minute. 1 minute. Just look at this, 500 hours of content is uploaded on YouTube. 21.1 million texts are sent. 1.4 million scrolling on Facebook. And so much is there. So it's impossible to imagine life without technology. And therefore, it's difficult to imagine education without technology in the 21st century. You know, but technology should be used strategically to benefit the students. Because it has been found that the excessive use of technology by the students has impacted adversely the generation of original ideas and hence creativity. It is curbing their creative power. So we have to take care of that. ICT, after all, what is ICT? It is an umbrella term that encompasses all communication technologies that provide access to information. Internet, wireless network, satellite communication, cell phone, all come under ICT. And ICT processes information and aids communication. That's the simplest definition. And you all know, ICT is impacting all areas of higher education. As a matter of fact, there is an ICT revolution in the 21st century. In business, in government, in health, in identity, and in learning. And this is the impact of ICT in higher education. Teaching learning has changed. E-learning and MOOCs are coming. You can now revise your syllabi very quickly through email, discussion forum, video conferencing. Then professional development can be through technology. ARPIT program that is just entirely technology based. Flipped classroom model, new teaching pedagogies. And then personalized learning is coming. So all this is because of technology. MOOCs, you all know, they have changed the way the education is imparted. The basic philosophy of MOOCs is 4 A's. Anytime, anywhere, anyone, any number of time. You decide your own pace of learning. And how MOOCs are going to help us? MOOCs is also something like teachers, learner-centric. Why learner-centric? Because whenever you want, you can learn from the MOOCs. You can't ask your teacher to repeat the lecture here. You can watch it as many times as you want. It can help you in increasing the gross enrollment ratio. Our gross enrollment ratio is presently 26.3%. The target of the government is 50% by 2035. So it is possible only through MOOCs and e-learning. Because we have already more than 1,000 universities. You can't open more universities. So this is one big advantage. And then, you know, MOOCs is why it is learner-centric. MOOCs have been developed by the best experts of the country. It is something like the best of the country addressing the rest. It helps you in realizing the dream of lifelong learning. For example, I am a student of chemistry. If I want to learn economics, I can enroll in the MOOC of economics, or international relations I can do. And then high quality education is available to the masses. And this is totally going to change the face of higher education in the country. And that education is available to the masses with equity, not equality. Equality is on the left. Equity means you have to be fair. Then the learning is learner-centric and interactive and just a click away. And now this has also come. And now you know that this is my article about SWAYAM platform, where the MOOCs are uploaded. You know, Our center has developed 50 MOOCs, the maximum by any institute in the country. And now you must have read this report, which came on 21st February, that UGC is allowing autonomous colleges to offer online degrees. So you can very well imagine how the future is going to be. Everything will be online, education, MOOCs, and all this. But the quality of the MOOCs is going to be very important. If MOOCs have flopped, it's only because of their poor quality. And then for revision of the syllabi, because knowledge is growing very fast, you need to revise syllabi very quickly. I see technology can help here also. In research also, literature is growing very, very fast. So how technology will help? No library can have all the journals. So now electronic databases are coming in each discipline. They are becoming the real information source in the 21st century. You know, maybe it won't be surprising if in the next few years, physical copies of the journals will not be there. Nobody will print them. Everything will be online. And an electronic database is also like a telephone directory. You just need to know the search engine and you can get the requisite information. Then examination also, you know, here also online examinations are becoming very, very popular. They have so many advantages. This government has already created National Testing Agency, and all major exams are now conducted by NTA. So you can see how technology facilitates learner-centric approach. That is the hidden meaning behind what I am saying. And now in central universities, we are going to have common entrance test, and this will also be conducted by NTA, National Testing Agency. So assessment process, the only thing is we need to make it more scientific. You know, in examination, conduct is using technology, no doubt. But who will set the question paper? That is to be done by the teachers. So they need to have necessary academic skill to properly assess the students, especially the higher order thinking skill. Questions in exams need to be on concepts, critical thinking, analytical thinking, and various ways of looking at the avenues of knowledge, not on speedy reproduction of information. Please remember, technology in education is a journey and not a destination. Maybe in the next few years, as the things is, world is already approaching Industrial Revolution 4 and 5, things will change. And in teaching pedagogy, this program is on that. You know, what is going to happen in future? From chalk and talk, we came to e-learning, then flipped classroom, and the future is going to be of personalized learning. Learning for you as per your needs. This is going to be the future. Why need of personalized learning? Because every learner is unique. Every learner has a different comprehension rate, different learning capacity, different method of gauging information. So using learning analytics, find out the strengths and weaknesses of each individual, and then accordingly propose a curriculum for him or her. That is what is the meaning of personalized learning. So you can very well imagine personalized learning is going to be the ultimate in learner-centric education. That is where we are approaching. Gamification is also going to come now. What is gamification? Basically, gamification is to engage students more. And the basic principle is that if learning is done on gaming concepts, what are the gaming concepts? Competition, incentives, and goal attainment. So there are already many e-learning games are available. Already in Delhi, you know, virtual school has been opened. So whatsoever I have told you, this is possible only if professional development of the teachers is done. Please remember one thing. The quality of an educational system cannot exceed the quality of its teachers. So if you want to enhance the quality of the education system, you must raise the competence level of the teachers. Otherwise, it will be just on paper. India is already the largest system in the education in the world. You know, there are 1.5 million teachers in higher education, 10.2 million teachers in school education. Total is 11.7 million teachers. They control the entire education of the country. If you do not empower them with these changes, nothing will be achieved. So this is very, very important. And now one thing more which I want to tell you is that in this era, the roles of the teachers are also going to change significantly. Now teachers need to become tech-savvy teachers in ICT skills. Tomorrow, if students are enrolled in MOOCs and if they have some question, who will answer them? It is the teachers. So teachers must learn how to manage virtual classroom and discussion forum. They need to learn also how to engage students by learner-centric pedagogies. Teachers will become coaches or mentors rather than merely knowledge providers. And then they should also be proficient in the development of e-content and MOOCs. After all, who develops the MOOCs? Teachers only. But the problem, you know, our experience shows there are many good teachers, but then they lack writing skills are missing. That is why they are not able to develop MOOCs and e-content. Teacher of the 21st century has to be an adapter, leader, learner, communicator, risk taker, collaborator, and visionary. So regular professional development is the need of the hour. So transformation of teachers is required. A change of mindset is required. You know, from what I know is enough to I must learn more. That should be the mindset. Generally, people think, oh, I know already enough. No. Interdisciplinary in their thinking, upskilling and learning from other subjects. So what are the challenges in the implementation of the learner-centric education in India? You know, in my opinion, I thought about this. These are the challenges. One challenge is teachers are in the age group of say 25 to 60 years. They represent different generations and perhaps different mindsets. So this is a big problem. Then many of them are the product of the old system, which focus mainly on the lower order thinking skill. So there is a resistance to change to new system. This is a problem. And then most of our teachers are not tech savvy, not even ready to embrace new pedagogies. So how will the change come? And then that is why we will continue to remain where we are. Then for years, many teachers have been setting question papers, testing lower order thinking skill. Not competent enough to test higher order thinking skill. They may not be able to develop such questions. So teachers need to create new materials to enable to students to learn on their own. But how many of us are there who are ready to do this? So, you know, teachers need to come out of their comfort zone. I would rather put it that way. They need to come out of their comfort zone. Only then the things will change. Otherwise, this will just be, you know, it is said, life begins at the end of your comfort zone. It's only after you have stepped out of your comfort zone that you begin to change, grow, and transform. The hallmark of any education system is that it should change with the changing time. And the most important is the role, most important stakeholder would be the teachers. You know, students just come, they have to mold them. So the conclusion is, there is an urgent need to reform curriculum, teaching, learning, and examination system, need to focus on 21st century skills and values. Adoption of revised Bloom's taxonomy in teaching, learning, including flipped classroom. Then need to train teachers. All this should start from school level. If you do it only at higher education and not at school, then it will be a failure. Because by the time they come to higher education, they are quite matured. So this is minimum what we need. We won't be able to change much unless we change the mindset and enhance the quality of our teachers through their regular professional training. As I have written on the right, Otherwise, it will continue to remain a topic of discussion only. And just 2 minutes more, then I will stop it. Just I will maybe delivering this bigger in some other lecture. You also need to have a personality, because I once mentioned that personality is very important. And this is often neglected. So you need to focus on personality. Personality refers to the set of traits and behaviors that characterize an individual. Personality doesn't mean your looks only. These are the personality traits each one of you should have. Self-belief. Without self-belief, you can't be successful in life. Self-control. Self-control means control over your thoughts and actions. Growth mindset. You should have clear-cut priorities in life. You should have an immediate and distant aim. And then hard work and time management. You know, these are all just points written, but if I go into the detail, it will take a lot of time. Maybe in some other lecture, I will talk about that. And others are live in the moment. You should live every moment of your life. No arrogance. Let success not go to your head. There is एक हिंदी की कहावत है, कभी किसी चीज का घमंड आ जाए तो एक चक्कर शमशान घाट का लगा आना, तुमसे बेहतरीन लोग वहां राख बने पड़े हैं. No worry. Worry is a misuse of imagination. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. So overcome this. No anger. Be positive and honest. Resilience and no fear of failure. And then have a high opinion of yourself. Having a low opinion of yourself is not modesty. It is self-destruction. Holding your uniqueness in high regard is not egotism. It is a necessary condition for happiness and success. You know, while I was preparing this last, I want to show these are the habits of some very successful people all over the world. Strategic planning and delivery. Then laser sharp focus and determination. Then risk-taking ability, courageous. Then health and fitness, because take care of your body, because it is the place where you have to live always. And then hard work and consistency, never give up attitude. So it comes with challenge yourself. You have, at the end of the day, your biggest competition, you will agree after this talk, is you only. You don't have the problem. You are the problem. एक हिंदी में कहावत है, स्वर्ग भी तू है, नरक भी तू है. इन दोनों का फर्क भी तू है. जिंदगी छोटी नहीं होती है. लोग जीना ही देरी से शुरू करते हैं. जब तक रास्ते समझ में आते हैं, तब तक लौटने का वक्त हो जाता है. It's never too late to be what you might have been. Nothing can stop you once you have decided to grow. And you know, while I was preparing, this idea came to me, challenges keep us fresh. You know, there is a famous quote, a ship is safe in harbor, but that's not what the ships are built for. Similarly, humans are not designed to be happy in status quo. So please continue to remain dissatisfied so that you can get better and better. Challenges are what keep us fresh. This is a good principle to have in life. Don't take every challenge as a problem. Take every problem as a challenge. Embrace each challenge in your life as an opportunity for self-transformation. That's what I would say. Thank you very much. I know I took a little more time, but I wanted to share with you why there is a need for learner-centric education, because that is the only approach to engage our students or learners. But that will not be possible if teachers are equipped to do that. That's basically the message which I wanted to give you. And I have also told you about what the 21st century needs, how we should prepare our students. Skills we know, but we are not equipped to teach skills, how to teach skills. I can understand what is a good communication, but how to teach communication skills to a student, I may not be knowing. So somewhere we need to learn that also. Thank you very much. So I will stop here. And if there is any question, thanks. I thank once again the organizers and Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, for giving me this opportunity to share some of my thoughts. and he's a very respectable colleague of ours from chemistry itself. So we have very, very high records for Professor Salunke, and thanks a lot and all the best for the success of this program. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us with your deep insights and wonderful words. Now I would like to invite our chief guest, Professor Dr. Manikrao Solanki, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Bharatiya Vidyapeeth, Deemed to be University, Pune. Dr. Manikrao Madhavrao Solanki, born in 1955, obtained his doctoral degree in organic chemistry in 1979 from Shivaji University, Kolhapur, India. After working for a year in college, he joined this university as lecturer in 1980 and was reader in organic chemistry from 1989 to 1995. Dr. Solanki was selected as Professor of Organic Chemistry in 1995 at the prestigious Institute of Science, former Royal Institute of Science, Bombay, at Mumbai, where he later became head, Department of Chemistry, 1997, and then Director 2000 to 2004. During his tenure at the Institute, he could get research grants of over rupees 15 million from various funding agencies such as CSIR, DAE, DBT, UGC, ISIS Pharmaceuticals, USA, etc. Under his dynamic and visionary leadership, the Institute established itself as one of the highly acclaimed centers in India for advanced studies and research in science. He worked as the Vice Chancellor of Shivaji University, Kolhapur, Maharashtra from 11 June 2004 to 2 March 2009. During his tenure as Vice Chancellor in Shivaji University, he undertook a number of reforms in various fields of the university. He served as the first Vice Chancellor of the Central University of Rajasthan from March 2009 to March 2014 and established new university with strong academic foundation. He worked as Vice Chancellor of Yashwantrao Chavan Maharashtra Open University, Nashik from 19th August 2014 to 18th August 2016. He worked as Vice Chancellor of Symbiosis University of Applied Sciences, Indore from 19th August 2016 to 31st March 2017. The research interests of Dr. Solanki include areas such as polymeric regions, oligonucleotides, and ionic liquids in which he has made important contributions. He has more than 150 research publications plus 1 patent to his credit, most of them being in international journals of high impact factors. He has guided 38 research students for their doctoral degree and has participated in more than 40 national and 10 international conferences. He has postdoctoral research experience of having worked at Weizmann Institute of Science, Israel, Institute for Organic Chemistry, Universität Wien, Austria, Northwestern University, USA, and Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, India. He has visited, delivered invited lectures, attended conferences, and chaired scientific sessions in several countries, including UK, Israel, West Germany, Japan, Czechoslovakia, Australia, Sri Lanka, South Korea, Thailand, Singapore, and Malaysia. His academic distinctions include honors like the Fellow of Royal Society of Chemistry, UK 2002, Member of American Chemical Society, Fellow and Member of Indian Chemical Society, Maharashtra Academy of Science, Bioorganic Society of India, International Society for Nucleosides, Nucleotides, Nucleic Acids. For his meritorious contributions, he has received Best Teacher Award of the Government of Maharashtra, among others. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mark, for kind introduction. Honorable Professor A.K. Bakshi, keynote speaker, as well as the guest of honor. I'm really happy. I enjoyed the lecture, the way in which he presented how 21st century teachers should be. And I have enjoyed the lecture, and I'm sure that everybody must have enjoyed the lecture. Professor Vimal Rath, Professor Dr. Gulati, Dr. Bendale Madam, the principal of New Law College, participants, ladies and gentlemen. Really, I think I should not give a talk after Professor Bakshi has delivered so extraordinary talk, but I will say few words regarding this particular which is based on teaching learning pedagogy based on this new methodology. At the outset, as a Vice Chancellor of this university, I welcome you all for this particular 15 days workshop. I congratulate the organizers for organizing this particular program for the benefit of teaching community. Friends, you know already it has been mentioned, the university has been established by very dynamic visionary Dr. Patangrao Kadam Sahab with a vision, social transformation through dynamic education. And I hope this particular social transformation, even change in teaching pedagogy, is related to the social transformation. And I'm really happy that you are part of this particular seminar. Our university is multi-campus, multidisciplinary university, and already it has been mentioned what rank and what all these things. I will not repeat the things again. Friends, as of now, the government of India has introduced various policies over the years. And at the outset, I would like to thank Ministry of Education for bringing out this particular policy which will transform education system in the country, as mentioned by Professor Bakshi. As mentioned in New Education Policy 2020, the teacher must be at the center of fundamental reforms in the education system. The new education policy must help re-establish teachers at all levels as most of the respected and essential member of our society, because they truly shape the next generation of citizens. I feel the responsibility of providing information, skills, and innovation rests with the faculty. Already Professor Bakshi has clearly demonstrated with his emphatic way of presentation. Therefore, successful implementation of this policy will be possible only when the teachers are adequately trained in every respect, so that teachers will be skilled professionals who actually make a difference to another person's learning. Friends, national education policy is a welcome step to meet the changing dynamics of population requirement with regard to quality education, innovation, and research, aiming to make India knowledge superpower as per vision of our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He mentioned that national education policy shift focus from what to think to how to think. The goal of the national education policy should be empower the present and future generations to be future ready. How to make the students think? This is the question. Currently, there are the following ways to help the students to start thinking for themselves. Let the student know that you don't have all the answers, because Bakshi has clearly given A for apple, that we have to change. We don't have, there are several answers. Question everything and encourage them to do the same. Force students to make their own choices. Push them to try new things. However, the strategy has failed to bring creativity in learner. Friends, as per our Honorable Prime Minister's message, it is our responsibility that how we can inculcate the culture, how to think among the learners, the skills which we have never taught in our present system. I would like to mention here the famous quote by Humans in New York. I will spend my life trying to undo habits, especially habits of thinking. They narrow your interactions with the world. There are the phrases that come easily to the mind, like what I know, what I think, or I know what I like, or I know what's going to happen today. If you must replace know with don't know, then you start to move into an unknown. And that's where the interesting stuff happens. And that interesting stuff we should understand. No skill is more valuable and harder to come by than the ability of critically think through problems. And colleges don't teach you the method of thinking. You have to do the work yourself. Those who do it well get advantage, and those that do it poorly pay for it. Poor initial decisions are one of the reasons where we are busy with poor thinking and large chunk of your time spent in correcting mistakes. Good thinking, on the other hand, produces better initial decisions and frees up our time and energy. There are 7 ways which teachers should adopt so learners start to think more critically. 1, ask basic questions. The world is complicated. Questions basic assumptions. Be aware of your mental processes. Try reversing the things. Evaluate the existing evidences. Remember to think for yourself. Understand that no one thinks critically 100% of the time. Due to globalization, the higher education sector has undergone transformations. In the traditional pattern of teacher was the source of education, the main focus was on dissemination of the knowledge using routine teaching methods such as lectures or chalk, lecture and chalk method, what Professor Bakshi mentioned. The emphasis was on imparting previous knowledge. The experiences that student gained was largely at institution itself. The new paradigm, which has been discussed now, has changed the role of the teacher from source of knowledge to that of facilitator, who provides various opportunities of learning for students. This raises the curiosity among the students to learn more and continue learning lifelong. Teachers use multiple modes of teaching based on topics. The new education policy has provisions that provide the student with increased flexibility and choice of the subject to study across various streams: arts, humanities, sciences, sports, law, and other vocational subjects. The pedagogy will aim for holistic development of learners by equipping them with the key 21st century skills, reduction in curriculum contents to enhance essential learning and critical thinking, and greater focus on experimental learning. There will be no rigid separation between arts and science, between curricular and extracurricular activities, between vocational and academic streams. NEP 2020 visualized shift from summative assessment to regular formative assessment in evaluation, Professor Bakshi has been, which is more competency-based, promotes learning and development. The policy envisioned broad-based, multidisciplinary, holistic undergraduate education with flexible curricula, creative combination of subjects, integration of vocational education, multiple entry-exit points, and appropriate certification. UG can be 3 or 4 years with multiple exit options, appropriate certification within this period. For example, certificate after 1 year, advanced diploma after 2 years, bachelor's degree after 3 years, and bachelor with research after 4 years. An academic bank of credit is to be established for digitally storing academic credits earned from different higher education institutes so that this can be transferred and counted towards the final degree earned. Multidisciplinary education and research universities at par with IITs, IIMs, to be set up as a model for multidisciplinary education for global standards in country. NEP makes recommendations of motivating, energizing, building capacity of faculty through clearly defined, independent, transparent recruitment, freedom to design curricula, pedagogy, incentivizing excellence, movement into institutional leadership. The policy aims to undertake measures such as, which has been mentioned, online courses, digital repositories, funding for research, improved student services, credit-based recognition of MOOCs to ensure highest quality in class programs. A comprehensive set of recommendations for promoting online education consequent to recent rise in epidemic and pandemic in order to ensure preparedness with alternative modes of quality education has been covered. A dedicated unit for the purpose of coordinating digital infrastructure, digital content, capacity building will be created to look after e-education system of both school and higher education under new education policy. An autonomous body, the National Education Technology Forum, NETF, will be created to provide a platform for free exchange of ideas on the use of technology to enhance learning, assessment, planning, and administration. Appropriate integration of technology into all levels of education will be done to improve classroom processes, support teacher professional development, enhance educational access for disadvantaged group, and streamline educational planning, administration, and management. We need quality teachers who understand their role in building character and careers. There are enough teachers in training, there are not enough teachers in training institutes. In absence of quality teacher training institutes and making education a national priority, none of the roles predicted under national education policy cannot be realized. So I think this teachers training is very important, and that's why I congratulate the HRD as well as our Mendale madam as well as Dr. Bakshi for taking this particular initiative. I think we need 360-degree change in mindset to implement these ideas in our context. That exactly what our education system requires. I am very positive that in country like India, which is currently transforming and taking rapid stride toward the economic development, technological progress, and digitalization will make it conducive for implementation of National Education Policy 2020. Before I end my talk, just I would like to mention one thing. I don't know why all the guests are invited from chemistry. I am also chemist, Bakshi is also chemist, as well as Professor Vimal is also chemist. I don't know what was the idea behind it, but all we are chemists. I will end my talk with famous quote by Winston Churchill. There is nothing wrong with the change if it is in the right direction. And with this new education policy, we are moving in the right direction. Thank you all. Namaskar.
Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us with your knowledge. And thank you to all the dignitaries present over here. Now I would like to invite founder and managing director of Droid Penal Group, Mr. Gaurav Gulati, sir, to end the session with a vote of thanks. Over to you, sir.
A very good evening to all our distinguished guests and our participants. Without the participants, the program would have not been a success. Today, we have the inaugural ceremony. We have Professor Bakshi, sir. We have Professor Salunke, sir, with us. So I am very much thankful to our chief guest, Dr. Professor Salunke, sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Bharatiya Vidyapeeth, deemed to be university, our keynote speaker, Professor Ashok Kumar Bakshi, sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor, PDM University, Bahadurgarh, our guest of honor, Professor Vimal Rar, ma'am, National Coordinator, GAD TLC. She has been the source of enlightenment to our program. She has been giving us all our support to organize such an event. And my special thanks to our organizing committees of New Law College, Bharatiya Vidyapeeth, and Droid Penal Group, Dr. Bindale ma'am, Dr. Wagh, Ms. Ayushi and Mehak, who is coordinating this program, and all the other members and our support staff of the office. Without their support, this program would not be possible today. Thank you so much. Thank you once again. From tomorrow, we will be starting the regular sessions, and from 2:30, we'll be starting sessions, and we'll be having 2 sessions a day. So I request all the participants, they can join the session, and in case of any issues, they can also have the recorded session on my e-class. You will be receiving mails from my eclass.academy by like 7:30 or 8, so that you can have a look over it. And tomorrow we'll have a session of my e-class. We'll engage the technical team to make you refresher course, assignments and quizzes and whatever we'll be giving to your as an assignment. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Bakshi Saab. Namaskar. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.